is America so obsessed with selfies? We hear so much about them when it comes to the media. If you do anything like BuzzFeed or anything like that, you see like the top 10 most inappropriate selfies by celebrities and things like that. And so it's fascinating. And also too, why in the world is our aunt always posting something about her with her dog? You know, things like that just kind of make you wonder, what is the big deal when it comes to selfies? Why are we so obsessed? So, is it to show everyone what we look like at our best? Is it how we spend our time? Not so much. Actually, there was a study done in Cambridge about selfies, and really what they came down to was, it's kind of self-definition. We all like the idea of being sort of in control of our image and getting attention, being noticed, being part of the culture. In fact, actually, Cambridge brought up a great point, that selfies have been going on for centuries. The very first actual selfies were those self-portraits that were done in medieval times, actually, if you think about it. And one of the things they had to say about that was, in this way, people could control the image projected. And of course, the fact that the image was on display marked the importance and status of the person represented. So when it comes to selfies, why do they matter? Well, back in the day, it was just about status and importance. Nowadays, what we actually call it is branding. And the reason why selfies is really a sense of branding is because when it comes to being able to, when it comes to actually branding, you have to look at your social media account as a whole picture. You know, a picture speaks 1,000 words. And when you consider the fact that like NAR just did a recent study and said that 66% of people that are looking at agents look for them online first and check them out before they actually contact them, that says a lot. You know, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, Instagram, all those kinds of accounts are going to show up when they're looking for you. And so when they're going to start scrolling down through your social media account, what's the picture? What does that look like? How are you being represented? So let's actually talk then about the bad selfies. So the first one is the avoider. So I have a feeling that there might be some people in this crowd who have this kind of mentality. I work with agents like this, and it's fun sometimes. The attitude is social media is an evil necessity. You know, yes, I have to have a Facebook account, I have a LinkedIn. Such pains in the butts. Behavior. They ignore their accounts, avoid posting, complain about social media and such too. Why are my grandkids on Facebook all the time? Why can't they just pick up the phone and call? You know, things like that. So what do they tend to do? They tend to be kind of begrudgingly putting things on their social media accounts, and those posts come off cold. They put no effort into them. They just send out blast out links and things like that. You know, they depend on automated content. Well, I signed up for that one online marketing program, and so yeah, I just get stuff out there. So yeah, I'm doing social media, so leave me alone. Or I love this. This is a statement I hear a lot. I don't remember the last time I looked at my account. So, what are the results when you have this kind of a selfie on social media? You know, your lack of enthusiasm means your lack of engagement. You know, and engagement is the key when it comes to social media. When it comes to trying to make a connection, it's the likes, the clicks, the shares, the comments, those kinds of things. That's how you can tell whether or not you actually are doing, whether or not you're actually being successful on social media. Because if you're engaging, you've got people connecting with you that way. That's how they are actually going to be much more likely to be contacting you. And the other advantage that I think most brokers completely overlook, which is really too bad, but that's why I'm here to crusade, is that when it comes to, you see those people that are engaging, those are the people that you should be connecting with. Those are the people you should be following up with, because they're paying attention to you in that much detail. So. Anyway, and then also too, part of the also result is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, if you're negative about social media, well, social media is going to be negative to you. It's just the way it is. And that's why ultimately I hear brokers complain about social media has no value. So the second one is the salesman. That is the selfie. I see some grins because I'm sure there's a few people who go, oh yeah, I know that one broker. Yeah. So the attitude is, I've got to sell me. Their behavior, they tend to be bragging, they're deal-driven, and they're narcissistic online. So what do? They focus all of their posts on bragging more about themselves. Now, I don't think a little bragging is a bad thing at all. You know, it's kind of like sprinkling salt on your meal. You know, you gotta have a little bit, of course, but these guys tend to overdo it. They're focused on selling their homes on social media. That's a big misconception that I think a lot of agents have, is they think that, well, I need to be putting them out there. Because your clients are probably asking, hey, aren't you gonna put my home on Facebook? You know, things like that. But the thing is, when it comes to social media, it doesn't actually sell your home. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And also too, they tend to also post inappropriately, too often, sometimes offensive content, because they're not really thinking about their audience, they're thinking about themselves and such. So the results for that kind of a selfie is they're not connecting with their followers. You know, they're selling, not serving. And also that they also tend to be very frustrated by the lack of results, because they put so much effort into it, right? So. And then number 3, and this is something I think all of us can just say we're all guilty of, so it's okay, you're in a safe place here, is the lurker. So the lurker, the attitude is, I like to look but don't engage. You know, their behavior tends to be lazy, you know, which is understandable to an extent, of course. It's 11 o'clock at night, you spent the entire day busting your butt when it comes to real estate, and now you just want to flip through some pictures because you're just bored and just trying to fall asleep, right? Also too, lurkers tend to be more on the insecure side. They have anxiety about posting. I have clients who will say, I don't know what to say. You know, like, what if I put something out there and it sounds dumb, you know, things like that. So that's what happens is they tend to shy away from engaging. And they also are the same type of people who depend on automated content. You're going, well, someone else is posting for me, so isn't that okay? So what happens then is no voice. If they don't have a voice on social media, then there's no engagement. You know, people think also that you don't care. You know, like for example, I was kind of going through a tough time a while ago, and one of my dear friends was like, oh yeah, I was seeing that. I'm like, why didn't you like it or comment or something to be supportive, you know, things like that. So, and then also too, they're the ones who ultimately go, well, social media has no value either, so. All right, so what is actually a successful selfie then? What is a selfie that actually, when someone looks at you on social media, are going to actually want to engage with you and connect with you so you can identify those potential clients, and those potential clients can still, excuse me, sorry, you can tell I'm still getting over it, so sick this, but that they're also continuing to stay engaged and connected to you. So the attitude that you need to have is one of the connector. It means I need to be social on social media. Behavior is to be personable, authentic, as well as experiential. So personable. Ask and thank people to follow you, you know? Making an effort to make sure that they're following you. Don't be passive when it comes to social media, thinking, well, all I've got on my Facebook is other realtors. You know, that's because you need to be making an effort to actually get people to connect with you on your page. You know, wish people happy birthday, congratulate them on anniversaries and things like that. You know, these social media accounts, they're set up in a way to help you do those kinds of things. So pay attention to those kinds of opportunities. They're just really easy ways to make that little bit of effort. Also, write recommendations and do shout outs for your followers too. You know, LinkedIn is great when it comes to doing things like endorsements and such like that. But also too, you can just write a sentence or two about a client that you love that, you think is doing a phenomenal job in their career, things like that. Authentic. Give followers a peek into your personal life, hobbies, etc. Clients want to like you before they hire you. And so being able to give them a sense of that you're three-dimensional of a person instead of just market reports and pictures of your homes. You need to show them a little bit inside of your life. Also to write your own social media posts. I get on my clients all the time about this. Because a lot of times they go, oh, I'm so busy. I'm just going to let April just write them for me. And I go, you have to sound like you on there. Just take a minute and write a sentence that sounds like something that you would say to a friend over coffee. It doesn't need to be some eloquent copyrighted thing. Because if it is, most likely they're going to be they're not going to engage. Again, it's social. And then also share your opinion about the market we do see. Anyone can look up the market report from the Denver Post online. But if you're going to share something about that, people are interested in what your opinion is. What do you have to say about it? Share your successes, absolutely. And you can do that in a very storytelling kind of way. I'm so excited that my clients were able to get under contract in 3 days. I know that they were so interested in making sure that they got out of this home as soon as possible, something like that. And then also, take an occasional selfie. Yes, you do, you need to, because you are the product that you are selling online, and that includes then your social media. People want to see you, they want to see what you're up to, and such. And that's because that goes again into the final point, which is the experiential. When it comes to, people want to share, people want to know what it's like to be in the car with you for 3 hours looking for a home. People want to know how you're going to fight for appraisal, on the home that they're selling. And if they want to know you, they want to know what it's like to be a client of yours. And just like what Dan was talking about then when it comes to recommendations, is making sure that you share your clients' experience about working with you. Make sure that you get those stories out there. Offer tips and solutions from your own experience. If you have a scenario that happened, with an appraisal, being able to just share a little bit about that, that helps people go, oh wow, that's like a day-to-day thing that they're dealing with. Like that helps them to understand more about you. Also to tag and converse with your clients. So I have a confession to make. I suck at selling. I'm not a seller. I'm a marketer, I'm not a seller. And so I actually jumped on Facebook one night. I was just like, all right, my friends, most of my friends are realtors. I asked them, would you please give me some tips on selling? And, and it was really cool because I actually had a couple of clients who were like, April, you're amazing, your services are great, I don't know what I would do without you, kind of stuff. And it was really neat to have that moment. So I was like, wow, people see that interaction, they see that natural connection and that conversing that we're doing, and it's making a difference. And I'm sure that there's easy things that you can also do with your own social media accounts. Also to talk about the homes, don't sell the homes. Talk about what you love about the homes. As opposed to talking about the price. Talk about why the client's selling, or why the buyers were excited to go under contract, things like that. And then also make sure you congratulate your clients. That's obviously the most easy way that you can definitely give people more of that kind of experiential feel when you're on your social media. So that's actually it. That is my presentation. So if you have any questions, let me know. I also have my contact information there too, so thanks.
It was awesome. You guys seriously met with her for half an hour, 45 minutes. 4 pages of notes later. It's just incredible what you come up with. There's all kinds of ideas and there's different ways to do this. If you're not trying to get into it now, it's only going to